Within Western culture, giftedness is typically associated with childhood, creativity with adulthood, and wisdom, the focus of within the middle and the later life. Distinctions are made between implicit and explicit theories of wisdom. Implicit theoretical approaches to wisdom aim to articulate folk conceptions of the nature of wisdom. Psychologists conduct studies to find out what the man in the street thinks wisdom is. Theories or wisdom developed by psychologists may be classified as explicit theoretical approaches to wisdom. In studies of implicit theories of wisdom, participants are asked to rate the sorts of words that characterize wise people, and these words are then collapsed into dimensions using multidimensional scaling techniques developed by Clayton and Barron in 1980. The results of these studies show that people have a clear understanding that wisdom is related to excellence and differentiated from other concepts such as social intelligence, maturity, and creativity. Wisdom involves an exceptional level of personal and interpersonal competence, including the abilities to listen, evaluate, and give advice, and is used for the well being of the self and others. Explicit theories of wisdom include those that define wisdom as a stage of personality development, as suggested by Erickson et al. In 1986, a stage of cognitive development by Rugel in 1973, or a high level of skill development that entails both personality and cognitive processes. Erik Erikson has addressed the issue of wisdom within the context of his life cycle model of personality development. Within this model, the life cycle is divided into a series of stages, each of which involves facing a challenge or crisis that requires resolution. If resolution occurs, a particular personal strength or virtue evolves, and if not, a personal difficulty or vulnerability is engendered. The ease with which successive dilemmas are managed is determined partly by the success with which preceding dilemmas are resolved. Erickson's model is presented with the summary of main hypotheses entailed in this theory. The main psychosocial dilemma to be resolved during the first 18 months of life is trust versus mistrust. If parents respond to infants' needs in a predictable and sensitive way, the infants develops a sense of trust. In the long term, this underpins a capacity to have hope in the face of adversity and to trust as adults that difficult challenges can be resolved. If the child does not experience the parent as a secure base, from which to explore the world, the child learns to mistrust others, and this underpins a view of the world as threatening. This may lead the child to adopt a detached position during later years, and difficulties with making and maintaining pure relationships may occur. The main psychosocial dilemma in the preschool years, 18 months to 3 years, is autonomy versus shame and doubt. During this period, children become aware of their separateness and strive to establish a sense of personal agency and impose their will on the world. Sometimes this is possible, but other times the parents will prohibit them from doing certain things. There is a gradual moving from the battles of the terrible tools of the ritual orderliness that many children show as they approach school going age. If parents patiently provide framework for children to master tasks and routines, autonomy develops. As adults, such children are patient with themselves and have confidence in their abilities to master the challenges of life. If parents are unable to be patient with the child's evolving willfulness and need for mastery and criticize or humiliate failed attempts at mastery, the child will develop a sense of self doubt and shame. The lack of patience and parental criticism will become internalized, and children will evolve into adults who criticize themselves excessively and who lack confidence in their abilities. In some instances, this may lead to the compulsive need to repeat their efforts at problem solving so that they can undo the mess they have made and so cope with the shame of not succeeding. In the preschool years, 3 to 6 years, the main psychosocial dilemma is initiative versus guilt. When children have developed a sense of autonomy in the preschool years, they turn their attention outwards to the physical and social world and use their initiative to investigate and explore its regularities with a view to establishing a cognitive map of it. The child finds out what is allowed and what is not allowed at home and at school. Many questions about how the world works are asked. Children conduct various experiments and investigations, for example, by lighting matches, taking toys apart, or playing doctors and nurses. The initiative versus guilt dilemma is resolved when the child learns how to channel the need for investigation into socially appropriate courses of action. This occurs when parents empathize with the child's curiosity but establish the limits of experimentation clearly and with warmth. Children who resolve the dilemma of initiative versus guilt act with a sense of purpose and vision as adults. Where parents have difficulty empathizing with the child's need for curiosity and curtail experimentation, children may develop a reluctance to explore untried options as adults because such curiosity arouses a sense of guilt. In the middle childhood, 6 to 12 years, the main psychosocial dilemma is industry versus inferiority. Having established a sense of trust, autonomy, and initiative, the child's need to develop skills and engage meaningful work emerges. The motivation for industry may stem from the fact that learning new skills is intrinsically rewarding, and many tasks and jobs open to the child may be rewarded. Children who have the aptitude to master skills that are rewarded by parents, teachers, and peers emerge from this stage of development with new skills and a sense of competence and self efficacy about this. Youngsters who fail and are ridiculed or humiliated develop a sense of inferiority, and in adulthood lack the motivation to achieve. The establishment of a clear sense of identity, a sense who I am, is a major concern in adolescence, where a sense of identity is achieved following a moratorium in which many roles have been explored. The adolescence avoids the problems of being aimless, as in the case of identity diffusion. Rather, they develop a strong commitment to vocational, social, political, and religious values. A virtue Erickson refers to as fidelity and usually have good psychosocial adjustment in adulthood. Intimacy and the major psychosocial dilemma for people who have left adolescence is whether to develop an intimate relationship with another or move to an isolated position. People who do not achieve intimacy experience isolation. Difficulties with establishing intimate relationship typically emerge from experiences of mistrust, shame, doubt, guilt, inferiority, and role confusion associated with failure to resolve earlier developmental dilemmas in a positive manner. The middle life dilemma is that of productivity versus stagnation. People who select and shape a home and work environment that fits with their needs and talents are more likely to resolve this dilemma by becoming productive. Productivity may involve procreation, work based productivity, or artistic creativity. Those who become productive focus their energy into making the world a better place for further generation. Those who fail to select and shape their environment to meet their needs and talents may become overwhelmed with stress and become burned out, depressed or cynical on the one hand, or greedy and narcissistic on the other. In the later adulthood, the dilemma faced is integrity with despair. A sense of personal integrity is achieved by those who accept the events that make up their lives and integrate these into meaningful personal narrative in a way that allows them to face death without fear. Those who avoid this introspective processes or who engage in it find that they cannot accept the events of their lives or integrate them into a meaning personal narrative that allows them to face death without fear, develop a sense of despair. This despair entails a sense of self rejection for one's past failures and current frailties. Research on lifespan development shows that people do face the psychosocial dilemmas entailed by Erickson's theory and develop the virtues or vulnerabilities associated with the successful or unsuccessful resolution of them. However, the passage through the stages is more variable than the theory suggests, and people can return to the past stages in later life. From Erickson's theoretical perspectives, wisdom is the final stage of personality development, has little to do with intelligence. Although, presumably, a minimum level of intelligence is required to resolve all of the life cycle dilemmas, an alternative view is that wisdom is a final stage of cognitive and intellectual development characterized by sophisticated problem solving involving sensory motor stage, pre-operational stage, concrete operational stage, formal operational stage, dialectical operational stage. Um, there is recognition that people's ideas evolve over time in an unending process of theses antithesis, and synthesis. So, an idea that may seem absolutely true and right to a person at one point in time may later seem false in the light of new evidence and ideas. The old and the new ideas may be synthesized into a completely new idea that may seem right and true. Wisdom, from this theoretical perspective, involves application of cognitive processes in solving complex problems. Bowles and Staudinger define wisdom as an expert knowledge system concerning the pragmatics of life that links mind and virtue. The system includes knowledge and judgments about the meaning of life and the way to conduct one's life in the pursuit of excellence with due regard to both personal well being and the common good. Wisdom is an expert knowledge system concerned with the fundamental pragmatics of life, that is, with the understanding, planning, and managing a good life. Wisdom covers knowledge about human development in all its complexity and variations, about the multiple biological, psychological, social, cultural, physical, and spiritual contexts associated with the human condition, and about the limits of one's own knowledge and expertise in making judgments about the complex life events. According to the balance theory, individual differences in wisdom may be due to many factors. People may differ in their commitment to the goal of solving problems to achieve a common good. People may differ in their values concerning what is good or right. There may be individual differences in people's capacity to balance multiple interests like intrapersonal, interpersonal, and extrapersonal, and multiple responses like adapting, shaping, and selective environments. People may differ in their level of tacit knowledge and the breadth of domains in which they have tacit knowledge. All of these differences in factors that contribute to the balancing process involved in making wise judgments may be due to a range of antecedent factors such as age, experience, motivation, personality, and practical, creative, and analytic intelligence.